Hey traders, I just want to walk with you or walk through the actually energy market and also the oil market because I believe there could be one of the greatest shorting opportunities coming that I've seen in a long, like many years of obviously going through the markets. I believe there could be one of the greatest shorting opportunities in the market. So when it comes to the actual stock market itself, I'll just look at the actual quickly the stock market here. We can see the stock market still pretty much in a really sort of strong. So you can see my chart to the chart up the top here. My chart to the top up here. You can actually see that you can see this whole line through here, right? So this whole line through here, you can see that level through there. That's the support level, and you can see where we're actually at that support level right now. So we may be getting that level, and you can see there's actually a lot of sort of supporting levels through here on the Dow Jones, and so that's what's happening on the Dow Jones. Same for the Nasdaq as well too. You can see the Nasdaq is actually at this level of support, which is this long-term level of support coming up on the stock market. And the reason why I'm bringing this up here, the same for the S&P 500. You can see that we have the support line coming through there as well too, and you can see how it's actually all. If I bring up an actual line here. And let me bring up a blue and let me bring an actual line tool up for you. You'll be able to see, especially the last sort of recent times, you can see how it really respected it, right? You can actually see how it really respected it through here. The top charts are the weekly charts, the bottom charts are the daily charts, and you can see how the S&P really respected it, and we're actually getting very close to that sort of level through there. So maybe that's the reason why it's bouncing right now when it comes to the stock market right now. So we may be getting ready for maybe another big move to the upside. And the reason why I'm bringing this up here is one, just to give you a quick little update around what I'm seeing with the actual stock market itself. And we're getting this correction here. I personally am a big believer that we're about to see a nice rally, and we're about to hold here, we're about to see a big rally out of the markets. And I believe we're getting very close to having a bottom in the markets. And by the way, guys, there's many stocks out there that have been crushed lately. Amazon, Google, Tesla, they're just to name a few that I've been watching. I believe there's some really good buying opportunities, and generally once a year we generally get this sort of 10% movement on the downside, and then we end up rallying and making an all-time new high. So if we do, especially looking at the S&P 500, if we do end up rallying back up, and we do end up holding here and we rally back to the upside to create a double top through here, which that's what it looked like on the daily charts through there, then I would say that we're probably going to best that high after creating a bit of a higher low, and then we're probably then going to see a really big move to the upside, because you can see we're still in an overall big bull market, right? This is still, the bull market's not ending, not yet anyway. There could be some early warning signs of maybe it's going to end soon. But we're not there quite yet, and if it does start to roll over, we can look at that. But for now, we're still in a very big overall big bull market, as you can see from looking at my actual screen through here, right? You can look at, even from sort of this perspective here, you can see we're just in a very big bull market, and we're just getting a really good sort of correction through here. So the probability is this is probably going to still have a movement to the upside from there. So even though I see that happening with the stock market right now, when it comes to the energy market and when it comes to the oil market, so if I bring up USO, it's actually a different story. And the really big thing that I'm noticing right now is you can see this USO chart through here is indeed finding support. And this is obviously the USO chart. If I bring up for you right now, let me actually bring the trading view up for you. That way I can actually just show you the oil chart here, and you'll be able to see what I'm looking at here when it comes to the oil market and the actual oil market itself. You can see here, look at this. So you can see this top up here, which is my weekly charts. In fact, if I just open up this chart here, you can see that we're still coming down through this level through here, and we're holding. And one thing that I'm noticing, technically speaking, we're actually compressing down, and we're probably going to have a move on the downside soon. But first, we're probably going to get a bit of a bounce. Actually, looking at the oil chart itself, we have been coming down through here quite a bit of time. So we're probably going to get, I would say we're probably like to get a bit of a bounce soon, maybe a 50% bounce through there. And then if we do get something like that, that's when the really big move comes out of the oil market. So that's one of the really big things I'm watching for. If we can get this over the next couple of months, could be a really good shorting opportunity coming up soon out of the oil market from there. And so, and also, if you look at the fundamentals of oil, that is, if Trump is going to be drill baby drill, right? More supply than demand, price go down, right? So it's actually quite a sort of hand in hand sort of thing there. But if I go back to the USO, which this is the one that I'm always looking at here, because let me just show you here. I can always look at this here, and I'm a very big options trader myself. And so I'm always looking at these options here to trade. And so oil would be a futures trade for me. But I'm a very big sort of option trader. And this sort of, as you can see, this sort of here, March, even going out to April and July, you can see you got some really nice sort of options trading that can actually start to approach this. And there could be some really good opportunities to do really well as this starts to really unfold from here. And as you can see, we can see this on this USO chart. We've been really doing nothing for quite a bit of time now on this USO chart. You can see how we've just been really just sort of in this range bound. And generally speaking, whenever we do this here, whenever we go through range bounding periods, whenever we do break and we start to trend, because there is uptrends, there is downtrends, and whenever we go through this sort of consolidation, distribution sort of phases, whenever we do go through these phases through here, we can actually see that whenever we do go through these phases and we start to trend, it generally trends quite nicely. Let me show you what I mean here. If I bring up, say, the GLD, because that's a really good example of what I'm thinking about here. And if I bring up my chart through here, and as you can see that if I bring up my chart, see how on, this is obviously the GLD chart, but see how we actually just went sideways for many years. It didn't really do much. It wasn't trending. But look what happened. As soon as we actually broke out of the trend, as soon as we actually broke out, this is obviously to the upside. But see how when we broke out, we actually end up making a really nice move. And that's one of the reasons why gold has been one of my best trades in the last 12 months. Yeah, the last one over the last year, I've had two really amazing trades out of gold. And it's because I've just jumped on that movement from there. Because whenever we go through this sideways consolidation, then we break out, that's always the best time to be looking for a trade. So if I go back to the USO chart now, you can actually see what I'm looking at here. This is the daily chart, sort of looking at the last 5 years, and this is sort of the last 6 months from here. And you can see even from the weekly chart perspective on these weekly charts here, that we're really squeezing up. As you can see, this is obviously the bigger picture on the weekly chart. This is the bit more closer up view. This is sort of like, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4 years worth of data, maybe 4 years worth of data. And you can see how we're squeezing up through here. So one of the big things I'm watching for right now is to see whether we do get a little bit of a bounce through here out of the oil market. Because if the oil market does rally from here, especially the oil market, like I was saying before with the oil market, and then obviously USO, if we do get a little bit of a rally through here, but then we fail and we start to break down, if it does break down, what that is on the big picture, and this is why it's important to always try to have, not just, this here is like 6 months worth of chart, 6 months worth of data, try to have it squeezed up here because you can see what's happening through here. And if we do rally through here and hold and then break to the downside, then we could be getting ready for a really big drop to come out of this USO chart. And if that does happen, there could be an amazing opportunity that I'll be watching for a put option trade. And these are the type of trades that could generate multiple 100% returns over the course of a 2 or 3 month period as we start to move in that direction from there. And on the back of that there, we can see that if I go show you the energy sector, is being quite top heavy right now. And you can see here that we actually went through this really big bullish phase through here, and now we're sort of just flattening out again. And we're going through potentially, or we're going through like another one of those sort of consolidation phase. You can see how it went up through here. And then ever since really sort of from here, we can see we just really haven't been doing much from here. And the reason why that's pretty powerful is, once again, once it does start to break out, then we're probably likely to start to see a really nice move to come out of the energy sector market from there. And so if you bring up sort of some shorter term trend lines, maybe something through there as well too. If I'm looking at identifying some support and resistance levels, you can see what's happening through here. Now, if once again, if we do hold through here and we start to break down, I do also see that there's on the short term level, there is also this level through here as well too, as you can see. So if I bring up, let me zoom right in on the weekly chart here so I can show you. You can see this is obviously the chart through here, and this is the chart through here. Let me actually do this here. So as you can see, that one of the things I'm looking out from that chart perspective is that line through there. As you can see, that's that line through there. This is the weekly chart, but just squeezed up. This is the daily charts. And the reason why that's pretty powerful is because there was 1, 2, and then recently 3 bounces from that level through there. But you're also noticing too that we're actually starting to get a bit more selling pressure at this point in time in the XL market. And what that is, selling pressure, is that you notice how we went up to the top, then down to the bottom, and up to the top, and then down to the bottom, right? But look what happened recently. We broke up. And now see what's happening through there. Notice how the sellers are starting to come in through here, which is this point all through here. And what that simply means is that we're now potentially, the sellers overall could be starting to come into play through here, which also gives you, let's just go from low to high, as you can see, from low to high. And it's also giving you this whole arrow through here, which is that's the 50 to 60% level. And notice how it's actually holding through here. So if I blow my charts up here now, you can actually see that where we're at right now from this perspective from here, from looking at the actual chart perspective. And once again, if I bring up my, I'll bring up this chart here, and I'll squeeze this chart up here so it's much more easier to see. And as you can see, this has actually held a lot of resistance through. Now, what that simply means is that the market, when the market's in range bound, right? When the market's in range bound, when the market's going up and down and up and down and up and down, we're not really sure, right? We're not getting higher lows or lower highs. But if we rally up and then we start to get a lower high and then we break, we see how the sellers are much more eager to come in here than they were here, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm looking at there, guys, when it comes to the overall markets. I want to give you an update from the stock market perspective. But even though I'm seeing that potentially to the upside, maybe this energy moving down, which is maybe this is going to be a bullish thing for the overall stock market. I'd like to get your opinion on this whole energy sector and and obviously the oil sector as well too. Though this whole sector through here looks like one of the greatest shorting opportunities I've seen in a very, very long time. And I'm always keeping an eye on, I'm always doing my study, I'm always doing my research, and I'm always keeping an eye on for opportunities like this, because really big moves, amazing quality trades only come across your plate a handful of times per year. And it's just up to us to keep an eye on the individual stocks, the indices, and all these other markets to make sure that we can get prepared for it. So once again, if we do start to break down from here, then we're probably likely to start to see this thing rolling over. And the same thing for the USO market. As you can see, we've been squeezing up and squeezing up. If we do get a little rally from here, we start to get a little lower high and break, then we're probably likely to see something like that over the space of, say, a 3 to maybe 6 month period, depending on the volatility move. We could start to see this potentially start to see a really big move on the downside.